It's Sunday morning again,
Yes,
and
yeah,
here we
yeah.
are, spiritually
Rise and shine.
speaking. Welcome, everyone. It's so good to see you in this way, of the way of seeing one another in 2021 on a computer or a smartphone. And we just greet you in that wonderful consciousness. Miracle says this is the best day ever. Would you like to say hello, Miracle? To the camera that we are on. You want to say hello? Okay, there you go. It's so good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
It's great to be alive.
It was a beautiful morning. You know, we thought our spring had sprung.
Right.
But it was like 67 degrees when I got up this morning. And you know, being from the Midwest, I kind of sometimes enjoy a little surprise like that. A little crispness in the air in the morning. I remember catching the school bus as a kid. And it'd be that crisp feeling. Just saying.
I will tell you, at my house over at the beach, it was 54. So 56.
That's not crisp, that's cold.
Felt like 54. So one of the things that we were thinking about this morning as a team are the tools that we use when stress increases. You know, instead of forgetting all that we've ever learned with nutrition or taking care of ourselves, you know, what is something that we can do? I would say for me, one of the main things is nature. And I feel that when we feel we're out of alignment, it would be great if everybody would innately know it's time for a spiritual timeout. In other words, when you feel that stress coming, it means that you've been inside on cement. It always surprises me that people in their own home will wear their socks and shoes the whole time. So the natural energy of the ground is not going into the feet, and energetically speaking. So that's one of mine, is that when you feel off, it's time to get on and go put your feet on the ground, feel the earth, hug a tree, be with somebody hugging and hold hands with the tree, whatever. But be out in nature, outdoors, and breathe that in. It's good medicine, negative ions if you're near the water. Also listening to water. You know, if you say, well, I don't live near water, well, hopefully you have a shower, knowingly. Or with all the beautiful tunes now that you have on your phone, you can listen to waterfalls, you can listen to creek water, rainwater. It's very powerful.
True.
Absolutely.
You know, I was going to say, add something too, that actually in today I observe what people do with children. You know, we grew up in a time where we kind of liked the outdoors because I used to come home from school, and I'm sure you all did the same thing. And my mother would say, change out your school clothes and go outside and play.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry to say, I don't hear any parents today saying, oh, you know, my kid played in the yard all day.
No.
I do.
No.
I do. Miracle
you do?
does. Oh yeah, yeah. I make sure Miracle gets lots of outdoor time.
I saw
That's
a video that of some adults who were baby boomer age, and they were talking about playing outside, playing kick the can, you know, taking this stick and going across the fence as you run down the street, riding your bicycle. And then they asked their grandchildren, do you go outside and play? Are you know, do you play with nature? And they were like, no. And they were then on their devices. So, do you ever play ball outside? No, I play ball. I play virtual ball. And it made me sad because you know it's happening, but you don't realize it's happening. So I grabbed mine immediately and we went outside into the backyard, and you know, just we ate strawberries and sat on the swings and just looked at nature and looked up in the air and, you know, things like that. But I'm not with them all the time. So these are computer babies. They do a lot on their tablets. And
You think? As
a professional friend of mine who's a chiropractor said she actually loves it because she said used to there was a aged group that I saw typically. She said I'm seeing a lot of young people because they're having neck issues because they're doing this all the time and they're having thumb issues.
yes.
I don't know. Oh, excuse me, Richard.
I was just going to say, she was just saying that she's seen the difference in the demographic of her clientele because of this all the time.
There was a naturopathic doctor on one of the cruises that I hosted, and she was telling the group that, true story, a man in New York was very, very ill, and he kept going to all these various doctors, and they couldn't discover what was wrong with him, and he was just like non-functioning, okay? And so finally he went to another doctor that thought out of the box and wasn't just traditional, the new practice of just over 150 years old. And he went back to ancient, techniques and stuff. And he said to the guy, he said, when's the last time that you have had your feet on the ground? He said, well, I live on the 30th floor, and my office, I don't even walk outside, he said, because there's a bridge and I walk over it, and then I get into the office building.
Wow.
And he said, well, go and come back in 6 months, go outside, go to Central Park, be outside, be around nature, sit by a tree, and come back to me then. And the guy was totally healed.
Wow.
It's ironic.
Totally healed. I mean, this is all documented, and this is, real stuff. And
That's a real tool.
It's a real tool. And I think that, often people have a paradigm when it comes to doing things or doing some kind of tool or whatever, practical application, that they've gotten into this habit that they don't have the time versus you don't have time not to.
Right.
And it's like, and you can look at, what can you do two and three things at the same time. In other words, when you're taking your shower, I love to pray during that time. So it's not like I do this, then I do that, or I'm that, but look at ways that you can multitask. I love talking to God when I'm on my rebounder. Let me tell you, some things are happening. Right?
Yeah. And we were talking about, putting your feet in the ground, and sometimes that's difficult in Georgia because we got red clay and we got red.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're in stilettos?
Well, then I'm not barefoot if I'm in my stilettos. Thank you very much. but our Reverend Kim, who's not here, we miss you, girl.
Yes.
She has a beautiful quote on our webpage and on our Facebook, and I'm paraphrasing. It says that our ancestors lived with nature, and for us to be healed, we have to get back to nature. Sound like that. But I thought that was really beautiful, and it just fits. That's a tool to be one with nature, to take the time. Back in the 19, they used to call them tree huggers.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go hug a tree. It's okay.
Well, if you think about a lot of tribes and a lot of natives of any culture, any land, they went into the forest and lived.
Stop. We're on camera.
Now today we tear down all the forest and live. Let that sink in.
Yeah, our rainforests are practically gone.
Our backyards are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're calling in this awakening, we call in this being awake. I mean, and it's like I say so often, I dare you say how much you love God and your Creator if you don't love all that Creator created. And that includes all living things, all sentient beings, that energy. It's like the appreciation and value of that. And we just continue to hold in that space and invoke that more people will wake up. It's a co-responsibility.
And I think maybe humanity, in general, has a hard time with that because the I can't even talk that word. Thank you. And different things have never taught people to love themselves. So how can you go and love the nature, love the creation around you when you don't love yourself? And that's such an important hurdle to get over in counseling. You try to get people to understand that void is that they are loved, that the universe does love them and they're worthy. Then they can go out and appreciate and respect nature, and they can go out and respect others.
Right, but not even for some outside entity to validate
Exactly.
You validate yourself.
Go inward.
Empower yourself. When my father passed away and the church fell into my hands, the people they couldn't get ready because it was a message of empowerment. You are what you need. You can do what you need to do. You can make it happen. And they were so religiously bound until what I was saying meant nothing because they needed someone to lean on, someone to tell them you're okay.
Codependent.
I don't need nobody to tell me I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
The codependent.
I'm telling me I'm okay. Yes,
that's
spiritually codependent.
That's the sad
it.
thing about the church world. I'll say in generalization, is they sometimes create codependency, which is endangerment. Because you have someone like your father who passed away, then their church doesn't know how to go on.
Right.
Because they really haven't been listening. It's just like, I'll say, example, a lot of Eastern Christianity really hasn't been listening to the ministry of Jesus. And a lot of religions don't really listen to the true message of their deity or their prophet, because they've gotten so caught up in basically the flesh. And
It's the least freedom teaching available on the planet today.
Yep.
Religiosity is designed for controlling others and doing everything they possibly can to prevent people from thinking for themselves and to worship certain individuals as representation of a universal concept. So,
versus, as I always
very
say,
amazing.
worshiping God is actually living your life.
yes.
And when you're worshiping God, it's about worshiping a spiritual leader per se. Whether no matter what religion or what theology you're following, it's such a dangerous thing to not have that awakening of the God within.
That's right. What is that we say? Guru is G-U-R-U. G-U-R-U. We end today on that note, and we say bless you. And we're so glad that you continue to tune in and be with us. And thank you for your support and your energy and being part of our conversations. Please be sure to put in the comments. Yes, please be sure to put in the comments things you would like us to talk about. And yes, you can order these masks from First Unity by emailing admin@firstunity.org. By the way, on our new phone app, as well as on our website, we have a shopping cart now, and we have like coexist coffee mugs, we have coexist t-shirts, and we have lots of things for you to shop and check out. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool.
Really cool.
And you know,
Comes in black
let's
and
let's
white.
real quick before we actually do sign off, is let's remind people who actually watch this program and they maybe don't watch or have time or have to go to work to watch the actual service. We're doing a little soft opening on Easter Sunday, so stay
better
tuned.
hurry, because only 100 are coming according to the science, and we are almost full already. So
Yes.
it'd be time to do it now. Register online. Information's there.
Yes.
Peace. Bless you.